made by accident in the shape that they're in. I mean, these are not easy structures to create. So I just see it as a consistent architectural design, and I would definitely think that if there's real pyramids on Mars, and we could confirm that, there's going to be some connection with the Earth pyramids as well.
Okay, east of the Rockies, you're on the air with us. Hi there.
How's it going, George?
Good. Jeremy, good.
My question is, do you think that the Anunnaki are capable of traveling via something called the Merkabah, the vehicle of light?
We don't see evidence from the historical record that they traveled in anything but fuel-based or visually physical objects. Now, to get light travel or beings of light, that comes from different sources. Let's say the Billy Meyer contact talks about this type of travel.
I've seen the actual. I believe I've seen it right here in Pittsburgh, December 3rd. Me and two other people saw it.
What, 2007?
Yes. No, 2000. Yeah, 2007. This year we saw it, and it was mind blowing. It literally looked like a Stargate in the sky, about 3,000 feet up in the sky, and it was cloth like it was behind a cloud, but it shined so brightly through. It looked like a star, like at 3,000 feet, and it was completely silent for 30 seconds. We watched it with like a halo of blue and red lights flashing above it. It was amazing. It was probably the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life.
Have either one of you two have seen anything like that?
I have not seen a light. I saw a giant donut in the sky that went over West Hollywood back in '99, and it was silent.
Other witnesses to that?
Just, one friend of mine.
How about you, Jason?
Similar situation. That's what initially sparked my interest 13 years ago into the research, was a personal sighting with a friend of mine that no object I could classify as a bird or a plane fit the description, so it had kind of a little switch of a flip, mentally for me to want to understand what I was seeing, and here we are today.
Do you think the fallen angels of Genesis might be the Anunnaki?
Well, the Anunnaki actually referred to the whole group of beings that came from this planet Nibiru,
right?
But it also kind of referred to the ruling class, the command class. The Igigi was the name of the regular crewmen that were the astronauts. So, they were all from the same planet, but they didn't have the same rank. But, George, there's something like several hundred billion galaxies in the universe, and I find it very unusual that people would believe that we're the only life forms here, and we've been broadcasting signals out into space since the 1940s and 30s. I think people are coming to take a look at us. Yeah,
I think it's changing now. Let's go to our first-time caller line. You're on the air with us. Hi there. Hello?
George?
Yeah, hi.
George? Oh, a great topic. Love it.
Me too.
Okay, I was reading the Bible, and it talks about Enoch and how Enoch was taken by the angels into the solar system and shown the planets. Also, if you read the book of Enoch, it talks about the fallen angels and how they had given the people knowledge of writing, weapons, metal, herbs for medicine, etc. Just like how your guest was speaking about the Anunnaki teaching the people knowledge in math and sciences. And could this all be, coming to date? Because a lot of people I speak with today, like past guests, have talked about this sense of urgency or panic or something about to happen, and just people just can't really put their finger on it.
Well, you have a couple things happening on Earth. One is the change of zodiacal age into the age of Aquarius, which every zodiacal age changing creates some kind of, let's say, apprehension in people. If you have Nibiru coming close, then there may be gravitational fields that are coming and affecting our planet.
Okay.
So there could be a factor of all of these things happening, and more.
One little piece, I'm sorry, just a quick thing I throw out there, too, for you is that, as Eric mentioned about the zodiacal breakdown of the heaven into 12 parts, the way that works is if you go out during heliochal sun rising, just before the sun is about to come up over the horizon, you can see which constellation the sun is rising in front of, and you'd say, we are in the age of Pisces, or the age of Aquarius.
Well, how would the 13th sign that Nostradamus talked about play an effect with that?
Well, I have no comment for you on that one.
Just as far as he would be seeing a change in some kind of pattern or let's say a change in a vibrational energy form. The age of Aquarius is the water bearer, so it's the bearer of knowledge, the bearer of new information. So this is something that people have also felt, actually, for the last 40, 50 years.
All right, let's go to our wild card line. Hello there. Carol, you're on Coast to Coast. Where are you calling from?
St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay, go ahead, Carol.
And for Eric, who do you think that Jehovah, the Bible, Yahweh, do you think it was Anu or Enki or Enlil? Does anybody know? What's your guess?
Here's the problem. He appears to have the characteristics of both of them, depending on what part of the story that you're talking about. In the case of the flood, he's both. Enlil wants to get rid of the humans, and Enki wants to save them. And in the case of the Tower of Babel, the same situation. The Tower of Babel is not an original Bible story. In the original story, it's Enlil who gets upset with the people. And Enki, Enlil wants to get rid of them, and then Enki has a compromise, and they spread their languages. So you always seem to have both characteristic traits being put into a compound character of Yahweh. So he's both.
Okay, what about Moses? What was that God? Do you think which one he was? When he gave the Ten Commandments. Is that both too?
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, in the case of Ten Commandments, then Yahweh would be more like Enki than Enlil, because he would be giving rules to govern humanity. And the rules we consider to be positive rules, not like anything negative. But again, there's a lot of old depictions like the Law Code of Hammurabi, where Hammurabi is getting and dictating from a certain god a set of rules, which later on, those rules end up in the Moses Law Code. A lot of them are borrowed and copied. Eye for an eye, for example, is a copy from the Law Code of Hammurabi. So that's a different god. That's, I forget the name right now. So there's different depictions and different descriptions.
Okay, thank you very much. Jason, do you and Eric do any conferences or anything like that?
We do occasionally speak on various shows, and we do, plan, as I was stating earlier, plan on having a conference actually in L.A., hopefully by the end of this year, maybe with a couple other gentlemen like Lloyd Pye, and to do kind of a conference, like the Conscious Life Expo style, but we're going to specifically focus on Planet X and the Sumerian culture.
Okay, let's go back to the phones east of the Rockies. Hello there.
Yes. Hi, George.
Yes, sir.
John. John from Sterling Heights, Michigan.
Of course, John. Go ahead, please.
Hey, I kind of had two things. I've been following this stuff for like the last 10 years, from the Graham Hancock, Robert Bauval books, on the fingerprints of the gods and that kind of thing. And on this thing here, my question was, has Eric or Jason ever heard of like the number code of like the Sumerians worshipped women as goddesses and gave them the number 9, which would represent like 9 months to give birth. And then if you were to like multiply that by the heartbeat is like 60 seconds in a minute, and then you would multiply that by like 12 months in the year, and then multiply that by 24 days, multiply that times 2 of the human, male, female, come up with the number, then divide that by the rate, or by the precession of the Earth, which is 1 degree every 72 years, you come up with 4,320, which is the pyramid, the Great Pyramid radius. And if you were to multiply that by 10, like representing planet X, the 10th planet, you come up with 43,200, which is the total polar radius of the Earth.
Sir, I think you need to speak to Richard Hoagland in 19.5 degrees. That was a long equation.
There's a lot of calculations in there, sir. If you just take some of these astronomical or precessional numbers, like 43,200, and you divide it by the amount of zodiacal years in each age, which is 2160, you would have 20 zodiacal cycles equal to 43,200.
Right.
So what you get is 10 fingers and 10 toes, which is our basic structure of human. 10 fingers and toes times the amount of zodiacal ages is that 43,200 number.
Yes.
So what happens is you don't have to use all of those calculations to get there. They left behind a very easy